Hey guys, so this is a little bit of a different style of video for us. This is more of a bonus episode just to kind of wrap up the series with our thoughts on, the game as a whole, the gameplay mechanics, the story, just everything that we really enjoyed about the game. Obviously, you're going to hear in a bit, we really enjoyed this game. It's probably one of our favorite series we've really recorded on the channel. So yeah, enjoy this little bit of commentary. Let us know what games you want us to play next, and hope you enjoy the video.
We fucking did it.
You did?
I'm going to just go ahead and fucking say it in terms of my ranking for this game. 10 out of 10. 5 out of 5. Perfect score.
Real.
Fucking spectacular.
I agree.
Ooh.
This is one of the few games I've actually platinumed. I platinumed it when I was playing with it.
Oh my god.
But
oh my
It's
god.
so fucking... It's a great fucking time. It really, really is.
That has given me, rejuvenated faith in gaming. I was talking to Dylan about this recently, and Dylan's like, oh, there's nothing exciting. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've been playing so many good games. Granted, nothing that's come out this year, right? In the past 2 years have been kind of meh. But, playing this, right, has given me so much fucking joy, and I'm so glad I'm not a fucking mainstream gamer anymore where I play just Call of Duty, or mainstream in terms of FPS, right, where all I do is play Call of Duty, and that's the only thing that excites me, because then you get so fucking caught in this repetitive cycle of oh god,
everything's
it's
the
same shit over and over and over. When you play something like
big
this,
windows. Absolutely. And it's so satisfying.
God.
I think I said it. I can't remember if I said it whenever we started the
Respawn.
Let's Play.
Respawn. These are the same people that made fucking Apex and Titanfall and stuff?
Yes.
Holy shit!
And it's also licensed by EA, which means that they stayed actually hands off and didn't cram the shit with microtransactions and other stupid shit. A lot of good shit happened to make this game. I think I can't remember if I said it in the first recording session or if I told you about it before we played it and not on camera. This is my favorite Star Wars thing.
This is the first episode you said that.
I did say I couldn't remember if I
the very first episode you said this is my favorite Star Wars thing, and this just turned into my favorite Star Wars thing.
Because here's the thing, right? I like some of the movies. At the end of the day, I think Star Wars is cool, but as a whole, it's not I'm a super Star Wars fan. This throws that out the fucking window. I loved this game. It made me love the lore, the world, every single bit of it. And as you've seen now, with good fucking reason, this game is fucking awesome. Especially that ending. That ending has such a heavy impact on your final impressions of the fucking game.
And I liked the ending too, because it's so there's a couple of things I want to go into. One, I like how they left it a little open-ended to where, if they never made a sequel, which they're making one now, which I'm excited for, but if they didn't make one, you can just be that was a great standalone project,
absolutely.
Let that be, bury the fucking hatchet, it's good to go. Mm-hmm. It's spectacular, 10 out of 10. But I like a lot of aspects.
Sarah Wayne.
So, I'm going to just rant for a bit, because, you've already ranted about the game and talked about it as we're playing, but this is now that someone who's finally played it, I want to rant too, is the game is really fucking good from the story standpoint. I know we talked over most of it, but the story's fucking good. That was good writing. The motivations for all the characters were real. I
agree.
Cal is someone who he just kind of gets caught in trying to do the right thing and then gets wrong place, wrong time type of thing, and then it just kind of he is our eyes through the story, but he doesn't really want to be there. He's can I just fucking dip?
Yeah.
But he feels some sense of responsibility. Going to the gameplay side, which for me, that's what I'm gonna fucking pick apart as someone who's played everything except for Sekiro, which that's gonna be the next thing I play on the channel. Spoiler alert, guys. Is I like this type of combat where it's it's fair, it's challenging but fair, to where even a normal fucking enemy can kick your ass and make quick work of you if you're not careful.
Yep.
But then the bosses is where it's at, right? That's where all the fun is held. And it's just so good because it builds on itself. It slowly gives you more and more stuff throughout the game to where, it never feels like you're getting dumped, or to where, you're not using the things that you learned previously and then the game forgets about it for, to replace it with another gimmick. No, nothing feels gimmicky. Everything builds on itself. The combat is fluid to where, you start off with just button mashing X to where then you start throwing your heavy attack with Y in there. Then you force slow and start slashing. Then the pull attacks with enemies everything you do just builds on itself, and it's so fucking cool. And it just like blows my mind. And so like having that smooth of combat to where every step along the way you start to feel like a fucking superpower, and then there's a boss or something to like pump, like keep you in check, like just be like check you real quick, like hey,
it's
you're
like
doing really good, you're fucking slaughtering everyone. Nope.
Yeah, it's like a checkpoint. It's like, okay, you could have scraped by with not having picked up anything new to this point, but this is now your checkpoint of, we need to make sure that you actually have been picking up new things, because you're not going to do very well beyond this if you haven't.
Literally.
So yeah, very much. It's super, super fulfilling. I touched on it recently in one of the recent episodes, but it's like the phrase, it makes you feel like blank, is so fucking loaded now. But this is another one that makes you feel like a fucking Jedi. And then, yeah, going back to the fucking fantasy, I mean, like, you heard me talk about it just a minute ago with Darth Vader. It's like, Vader has never been the fucking cool villain for me. His design was always a little cheesy. I never was super, like, into Star Wars as a kid. But this one, I mean, I talked about Rogue One, too. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. And I really enjoy that, and part of that had to do with the impression that I got from Vader at the end. Recent things have made Vader scary, and that's what makes him super, super fun. And this one takes that to 11, it takes it to 12, it takes it to 20. That
makes you feel helpless. Like, it's like you are not there to fight, you are there to just survive and run away.
Because like I like the fake out that they do where you set up the fight with Vader, and your first impression was, am I about to kick his ass? And I had to hold back saying, no, you're not.
And then immediately the game just smacks you over the head like a fucking little kid. Vader's literally treats you like a toddler, because that's all you are to him. Like, you're just like a fucking joke. Like,
yeah, no, you're nothing. And I mean, it sucks that they made the Force Unleashed games not canon, because those are really fun, and that power fantasy of you kicking Vader's ass and being that fucking strong with the Force is fun. But at the same time, those games this feels real. Like
in those games too, and like to kind of like to connect off that, Vader's a fucking menace. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But I mean, like, end of the day, that one's like super, super big power fantasy, and that like it's you're stupid strong and you are gonna overcome everything. And this one, it feels real because you're just a little guy. You're just a dude, and you're running around. You're
baby man.
You're just doing your thing, and then you kick the shit out of the neighborhood kid who's been a bully this whole time, and then his dad shows up to the fucking barbecue, and you're like, I have to go.
Literally, like I'm 5, like I'm a 6-year-old. I just like got into a little scrap with like an 8-year-old in one, but like a fucking adult now. Like
exactly right. So like I really like that, and then yeah, like you mentioned, the story, the characters, they're really, really fun. I mean, obviously, you and I absolutely loved Grease because he's just such a little fucking gremlin, and I fucking love him. And then, obviously, our own fucking jokes off camera have helped with that.
Yeah, and plus, just like all the characters, as much as I joke around like the fucking like the goth girl and Seer and all that shit, like they're all solid characters, really, and they all have like their motivations. Right?
Oh,
like,
Seer and Trilla have an incredible backstory. I actually really, really like it. If you decide to go back and actually pay attention to the cutscenes, or decide to play it again on your own, so you can play it for real, so you're not having to deal with my dumbass whispering in your ear the entire time, it's definitely worth like paying attention to and actually absorbing all the information they give you. Terran Malicos, his story with Marin and I mean, basically he crash landed on there, basically became like a little god to the Night Brothers, and took advantage of her trust, and her impression of the Jedi were from him, where he took them over and basically became like a little tyrannical leader, and that was her impression of the Jedi. So like, for her to come around, yo, TJ Storm was in this shit? Bro, where?
Oh, shit.
Anyway, also Liam O'Brien? What the fuck? Liam O'Brien was in here too. Good shit.
Oh my god.
Dude, our mission to play a game with all of the Critical Role cast will forever grow.
It's almost there, bro. I swear.
We're getting there. Yuri Lowenthal? Steve Bloom? Liam O'Brien again?
Steve again? Sam Riegel? What?
Wait, Sam Riegel? I missed him.
Sam Riegel was in there, bro.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, it's almost there. We're almost there.
We're almost there. Everyone's fucking in this game, dude, apparently.
Literally. But, so, like, another little mini rant, and to, like, kind of circle back to fucking Darth Vader, right? In the canon, like, granted, it's not canon anymore since Disney bought him out, but, like, growing up, I've always been a Star Wars nerd, not necessarily for the movies, but just all the properties that Star Wars has outside of its movies. I love the movies. I've always been a pretty big Star Wars fan, but I've never been one in terms of like super deep into lore. I was as a kid though. I would read a lot of like the little books. I read a lot of like Obi-Wan stories. So like, fun fact, there's this Obi-Wan book that they made a long time ago, and what the Obi-Wan show is about is kind of like pulled from that book.
Yeah, it's inspiration.
Like this specific book. Because it talks about Obi-Wan's story after, you know, the big split, essentially.
Yeah.
In episode 3. And like in that book and other Star Wars properties and things, like in its Force Unleashed, Darth Vader is a fucking menace. Like, when you see him in like the original trilogy, he's just like a little space dude, because that's how George Lucas originally intended him to be. He's just like a vessel. He's very strong. He's evil, whatever. And then the original trilogy, you see how he comes to be. And then whenever, you know, you see him become Darth Vader in episode 3, he's like, no, and he realizes Padme dies and starts like ripping the whole lab apart with just his anger. That is like a little piece of like, oh my god, he's really strong with the Force, duh, like Anakin, we knew that, and the midichlorians and all that shit. But like when you look into the original lore, it's just like he is a fucking menace. Like he's literally like someone who like fucking walks in and like there's like 10 people in a room, fucking snaps all their necks, just like waving his fucking hand, and just kills a whole room. And like little like fan projects.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Fucking Spike doing Bonam you.
Stop it. Oh my god. And so like that level of strength to where he in like Force Unleashed, like he gets thrown through like multiple fucking walls, eats that shit, and then starts fighting like a fucking champ. Because it's like Vader is meant to feel like this fucking menace in all these other Star Wars properties, versus in the movies he's just kind of a dude who like he's pretty strong.
And that has to do with why I never was really intimidated by him, because that was more of like an afterthought whenever they started expanding things.
Exactly, because they wanted to make him feel like the big bad, because he is, right? If he's the big bad, like how are you going to tell me like if he's just some normal dude, how is everyone scared of him? Like how does he have this reputation of being so fucking scary? Right?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. And I like that, right? They make him, especially in this game, like make him feel menacing. Like you feel hopeless. You literally cannot do anything but run.
Yep.
And so like I want to see what that dynamic does, because like he's so fucking menacing. And the second game, like if Cal is, you know, I'm assuming he's just gonna get stronger in the next game. You know, it's safe to assume, or at least like he's at kind of his power level. Like maybe he's capped out. Like I know everything I need to know. Maybe they'll give him some new Force abilities, or kind of like do that thing with a lot of games in the second game where it's like, oh, you lost your Force abilities, go get them all back type of deal. I would hope not. What?
These names, though.
Right.
Sorry, I was just making faces at the screen because I didn't want to interrupt you again.
So it was one of those things where like, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm excited for this thing game. We'll probably
so
play
excited.
it on the channel. Maybe Diego will play that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love to, but I think at this point, obviously you're better at the game than I was when I played it, and you're already be familiar. I mean, shit, you would leave this game for a month at a fucking time and then pick it up like it was nothing. So you'd probably be fine when the sequel comes around. But
that's what we did, bro. Like the second to last, like major, or like the last major item you get, which is the dual saber, like the split saber. I got that and then didn't play for a month.
Yep.
Like,
it's true. It's true. About it.
10 out of 10. That's my rate.
10 out of 10. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you. And we'll see you next time with a new, different game. So subscribe to see that, and we love you. We'll see you next time.
Alrighty. Bye, guys.
Bye.